Welcome to the Complete Launch Tech Guide. Today I'm going to be going through how to launch tech and the best or most fun spots to launch tech on every single production map where it works. Some maps will be omitted for either not being able to launch, having nowhere to launch, or just not having any reason to use launches due to other factors. Buckle up and enjoy the Launch Techers Bible. Let's begin. In the beginning, God created the heaven and the earth. Wrong Bible. Hold on, sorry. I, Nephi, having been born of goodly... Wait, nope, that's the Book of Mormon. Where did I leave my script? Hold on. Here we go. Sorry about that. In order to launch tech, you first need to go to your settings, go to keyboard settings, make sure jump no vault is set to space, your vault should be unbound, and your jump should also still be space. Next, you'll need to find a prop on any map that is shorter, but when you walk into it, your character starts to climb it, like certain benches, cars, railings, tank barrels, and other things. This is the most important part because this means you'll get the right collision to launch yourself. Next, you'll stand close to the prop you want to launch from, hold shift, hit C to slide into it, and mash space when you hit it. As a rule of thumb, don't hit space too early because doing so could make you jump over, whereas doing it late will make you stop for a very brief moment, but you can still launch. So it's safer to do later than earlier. You can also do this while running, it's just easier to do standing still, especially for people learning. Now we go into the production maps. Both Ravod 2016 and Ravod Revamp are both incredible maps for launch checking because of the amount of tanks on the map and how easy it is to launch off them. We're going to be starting with Ravod 2016. Starting with this first spot on Phantom Spawn, which literally allows you to bypass the entire wall and ladder in case there's people camping and you're having a difficult time getting up. This allows you to get the element of surprise and really easily jump them. If you stand on the thicker green part where the light green meets the dark green and kind of go slightly straight but a little bit of an angle, you should be able to launch up and completely bypass the ladder and make it all the way to the top in about a second. This spot was found by Kita Azami and he's pretty much the entire reason I'm doing this video, so credit where credit is due. These next two tanks allow you to get up on top of the pipes so you can really easily traverse the map from a higher angle, so if you're on the ground you can stand in pretty much the same spot as the previous tank and just launch up to the top. Same with these following tanks. These next three, you can just do the exact same thing. You stand on them, launch up to the pipes, and then you can go. This next spot is the mechanics area of one of the buildings, and so far I've only been able to do it with bare fists, not anything else, so I think you really need that super fast, lightweight movement. But you basically stand on about the second and third rung of these stairs, and you aim towards pretty much straight ahead of you. And then you just do the exact same launch tech, and you just launch up and super jump into the rafters. Next up is Ravod Revamp, which is better than Ravod 2016 because of the updated props, and a lot of this stuff is the exact same as Ravod 2016, so I'm not going to bother commentating over those, but there are a couple new ones that I will talk about when I get to them. This next spot is behind the building that was added with the revamp, and you're basically going to go to these train cars that have one singular crate, and you're going to aim for the center of the angled part of the train car, and you're going to slide into that, and you're going to launch yourself up onto the building paired with a super jump. This next jump is easily the hardest on the map, and you quite frequently get reset by the anti-cheat, and you just kind of fall short most of the time as well, but if you pair it right and hit the super jump just right, you can actually jump from that tank all the way up to the roof. Mirage Revamp is in my opinion the best map for launching because of the amount of launches there are and also how practical they are. Pretty much every piece of wood on this map can be used for a launch, and once you've done one, you can do all of them. They're incredibly easy to replicate, and they all give you a really good advantage over everyone else. For the angled pieces of wood, you're pretty much going to be aiming at hip height or maybe a little bit lower, and then once you've got that down, you pretty much have it done for every single other thing, and you can do it really easily. This one's kind of hidden on the back of the map, but I thought it was neat because it's kind of like an instant transmission to the next floor. Crane Site and Crane Site Revamp both had way less than I anticipated, but there's a couple that are practical and kind of give you a little bit of help. Crane Sight Revamp only has a couple more practical spots than Crane Sight, but you can also jump between the 2 oil barrels, which I guess you could do on the previous map. I just completely forgot to mention it. Mall is pretty mediocre in terms of jumps. There's only a couple, but they do serve a practical purpose sometimes, and they can be used pretty situationally. You can do this jump on any of these support struts on the map, but it's really only useful next to these taller spots, or else it's just going to be for trick shots. Mall Revamp is way better for jumps because of the amount of things on the ground floor, so you can never get stuck down below. These tables are a little annoying because you can't do it while standing still. You have to be running and holding W in order for it to work for some reason. Rig actually has a lot of different spots, but since they're all railings, I can't really pinpoint individual ones, so I'm just kind of showing you practical ones, and you can jump from wherever the heck you want on the map. Desert Storm doesn't really have a lot of good jumps to be competitive, mostly because there's not a lot of super high places to get to you can't get to easily, but there's a couple fun ones that you can utilize. Second Storm has plenty more launches than Desert Storm because of the new updated models on the map, and it's a lot nicer. All things considered, this spot isn't all that practical, but if you want to do some trick shotting, it is definitely a viable spot. I didn't expect Ruins to have any good launches, but I was pleasantly surprised by the pews actually being really useful for getting to the higher spots really quickly. If you use the center supports of the pews, it makes it really easy to replicate, and you can get to the top levels very, very quickly and efficiently. Bazaar absolutely sucks for practical launches, but it's got about 3 that are decent for trick shots and just having fun, so you can do with those as you like. Dustbowl is kind of a double-edged sword because it has great props that you can launch off of, but it doesn't really have a lot of places to go, so it's kind of situational, but they are great props. Industry absolutely sucks for launches, but this is a complete guide, so I'm including the couple that there are. Derrick is in pretty much the same boat as Industry. There's really nothing practical, there's just a couple little jumps you can do. A lot of the launch spots on height are like Rig, they're pretty much all railings, but they allow for fantastic mobility and gaining height very quickly. Suburbia sucks in general for launches due to a lot of outdated props, and really the only places you can jump are these scattered trash cans. Highway lot also has a glaring lack of jump spots, but once again, gotta include it. Winterage doesn't have a lot of spots, but it's got a couple quality locations that you can launch and actually get to decent spots. And then really the only jumps you can do on dunes that are actually, usable is the ones on top of the water tower, because once again, Dunes is out here disappointing everybody.